Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 10 of What If Naruto Was Given a Second Chance. Remember to get this one to 300 like as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto Learned the Clone Secret in the beginning. And enjoy that guys. And later on I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Was the Osusuke King, so stay tuned for that. And I'm also going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Got His Memories Sealed Away, so stay tuned for that as well. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for your help and support, and yeah, so without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Begin the intro. So the last time we left off, Naruto's out training in the field. As he had his headband wrapped around his eyes, his clones surrounding him in a large number, all of them throwing kunai at him. But Naruto used the vibration and the sound waves as he could hear it, enhancing his senses as he tilted his body and dodged the kunais. After that was over, he was called by Kakashi to meet him at their usual spot. As the entire team got there, Kakashi told him about Chunin exams. 2 months had passed because of the delay of Chunin exams, but he was finally ready to get started, as it was going to happen tomorrow as he nominated the three of them to enter. As the three of them took the slips, Sakura was a bit unsure if she was ready for that. Sasuke was ready to crush other villages, and Naruto, knowing that this was his only chance, has changed things to not let the same future come. And with that, Naruto headed off as he met up with Konohamaru. As Sakura came moseying by with a sad look on her face, Sasuke turned around again, as Konohamaru asked Naruto if she's his girlfriend, but Naruto said hell no. As Konohamaru and the group started to talk about Sakura's forehead, as they had to run off, until Konohamaru bumped into Kankuro. As Naruto paid that no mind as he was already busy flirting with Temari, Temari was caught off guard. People doesn't usually do this because her brother was Gaara, and in the village people stay away from her just because of Gaara and his psychopathic tendencies. So yeah, it was strange for her. As Naruto held on to her hand and even gave him the kiss. As he gave her a charming smile, she didn't know why but she was feeling flustered and hot and bothered. As this boy. But she knew that nothing could ever happen seeing that they were going to go to war with Konoha soon. As Gaara arrived, Naruto walked up to him. Gaara stand wrapped around Naruto, but then Naruto was already behind Gaara. To see that it was just a clone as the clone burst into water, as Sasuke arrived there as well. As Naruto looked at Gaara, could see the bag under his eyes, as he told him he haven't slept. Gaara and the others are caught off guard by that statement, but Naruto didn't say anything, as he simply waved them off and headed off. Gaara had been a good friend to him and consoled him in his other life, after what happened. As he'd find a way to help Gaara, he just have to get to talk to him one-on-one. As Naruto was going down, he spotted the Kumo team, as he remembered an encounter with him and Yujito in some way. Well, the both of them knew that he was a player back then, so given that he didn't want to be in a real relationship with anyone, they kind of made a decision where the both of them could have him. Yes, a threesome, which Naruto was gratefully happy for, as he giggled to himself as he spotted him up in a tree. He simply looked at her and told her she had kind eyes, before walking off, as the group asked Yujito if she knew him, but she said no. As the time passed, Naruto went to the Higurashi shop. Its blades were sharpened for him as he went to pick them up. As Tenten hadn't left yet, as both of them went to the academy at the same time. And he told her if she could give him a kiss, well on the jaw for good luck. She was caught off guard by that because he never asked for anything like that before. As she blushed, but she gave him a kiss on the cheek, as she wished him luck and she headed off inside. As the group went off, as Tenten was cursing at Neji because he didn't tell her about the illusion, because he didn't seem fit to tell her. As Rock Lee challenged Sasuke, Naruto simply walked off knowing that Sasuke was gonna get his ass kicked, After that they arrived, as Kakashi was there, as he wished them all good luck, and they headed inside. A small amount of killing intent reached the group, as Sasuke shivered for a bit but he stood his grounds, as Sakura was hiding behind her teammates, because this was bad. She was hit with a dose of killing intent by Zabuza. Well, Zabuza killing intent was worse, but this was bad as well. But Naruto simply smiled as he looked around the room. Spotting the Kumo team, he walked over there. So yeah guys, so it's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? Yujito narrowed her eyes as the boy was walking right towards her. The boy that they met yesterday. His gaze firmly set on her, not anyone else. He was just staring at her like he was staring directly into her soul. When he was a few feet away, he suddenly tripped. As there was nothing there for him to trip on, but he suddenly tripped. She was the only one in his path. Knowing that he would probably get a nasty fall, she stepped forward to just save him, so that he wouldn't crash his head or hit something hard. But his body then twists, as she was surprised when his arms went right around her, flipping her over, making the both of them fall to the ground. But before she could hit the ground, he flipped her over, as he landed on his back with her on his chest. Everyone turned towards them, as Temari looked over and narrowed her eyes. She didn't know why, but she felt a spike of anger seeing that girl on him. Why was she feeling this way? She just met that boy yesterday. Yujito looked at Naruto as she slowly lifted herself up, as he was smiling up at her. "You did that on purpose," she said. "Oh, did I?" he said. "Yes, you didn't trip on anything right there. I should have let you fall." "Yeah, but you wouldn't do that. You're just that kind." "And how exactly do you know that?" she asked. "You don't know me from anywhere." "Well, I already told you, it's those eyes of yours. I can see them. Those kind, beautiful eyes." She just looked at him, not saying anything for a while. "You're quite the charmer, are you?" "Well, your charms don't work on me," she said. "I don't know what you're trying to pull. But being a Konoha shinobi, you must know that Konoha and Kumo are not allies or friends. So we can't be friends or anything, so stop it. Do you understand that?" she asks. "Well, you know, the village's status can change." "What?" she said. Right now, everyone in the room was looking at them. They had fallen a minute now, and the both of them hadn't got up yet. As Karu was narrowing her eyes, wondering what the hell are they doing. Despite the awkward situation that they were in, neither of them looked all that flustered. They were just calmly talking to each other. "What do you mean?" she said. "Well, I have a way for our village to be united, so there won't be any wars and meaningless death," he said. "And how exactly can you do that?" she asked. "Oh, it's simple. We have sex." Yujito blushed hearing that, as Naruto knew that he caught her off guard right there. It then turned to an angry scowl. "What do you take me for?" she said. "Oh, it's not that, I assure you," he said. "You see, if two people from a different village were to get together, especially someone like me, and someone like you, they would be forced to unite." "And what's so special about you?" she asked. He simply smiled, not saying anything, as she looked at him with a glare. As he then looked at her, and then he looked down. "You know, this position is quite comfortable," he said. "It seems that you don't have a problem with it. Why don't we stay this way until the exam begins?" She then looked down as she instantly blushed, realizing that their bodies were pressed together. As she quickly picked up herself, he simply smiled, as he held his hand up for her to help him up. She looked at him for a few seconds, before taking his hand and helping him up. "Oh, thank you, gorgeous," he said. "You know, you're a real flirt," she said to him. "Come on, don't tell me you don't like it. I mean, why wouldn't someone praise a goddess like you? I mean, just look at you. People would be crazy to not look at you twice when they're walking by," he said. She felt her face start to turn heat up at that, but she forced herself not to blush. She couldn't let this boy get to her. She then realized that he stopped talking. As she looked at him, she then noticed something in his eyes. It was rage. She could see it, even though his fists were not clenching or his teeth were not tightening. She saw rage, unbridled rage in his eyes. As she then followed his eyes and looked over, he was looking towards his teammates. Well, the Konoha ninjas, but there was someone else there. Another one that just seemed to arrive. Seeing that she looked over and saw that it was only kids over there, But this guy was taller, as he had on glasses, with black eyes. He had a bluish silver hair, as he was wearing the Konoha headband. As she noticed a rage in his eyes, that quickly just went away. "Sorry," he said. "I guess we're gonna have to do this some other time." Before she could say anything to him, he started to walk away, as Naruto walked over towards his team. Meanwhile, Temaru was looking at him walking away. Just yesterday, he was flaunting all over her, and paying her all these compliments, and now, he wasn't even paying her any mind. But why did she care? They were going to attack this village anyway, and he was going to be her enemy soon. She shrugged it off. Why should she care? Naruto ran back over to his teammates. "What the hell just happened?" said Kiba. As Naruto looked at Kiba, "What are you talking about?" "I mean, what just happened? You and that Kunoichi were on the ground like that for several minutes, talking. Why wouldn't she flustered or even kick you off? Tell me, what the hell just happened?" "I guess I'm just good that way," said Naruto, as Kiba clenched his fist. First it was the Kunoichis of this village, and now he's going after other Kunoichis? When did Naruto change this much? As he looked over at Ino to see her looking at Naruto with a slight blush on her face. Even Hinata had a blush on her face. The only one who didn't seem to fall to his charms was Sakura. But for the rest of them, they seemed to be falling for his charms. Even that girl over there, that Kiba saw him walking with this morning. If he remember correctly, her name was Tenten, as he wondered just how did Naruto do it? Back with Kabuto, and you see the thing is, said Kabuto, he never returned a single scratch on him. It was then that Kabuto's entire body froze. It was weird. He felt like his life was in danger, like at any moment he would just die right here. But what was causing this feeling, the only time he felt like this, was when Orochimaru released his bloodlust on him, or his killed intent mixed with it to amp the fight. But now, who could be here to target him this way, and judging from the others around him, it was just focused on him. As he then felt something coming towards him, he quickly spun around. As he turned to come face to face with a kid with long blonde hair. As he took in the kid's appearance and noticed the whisker marks, he could already tell who this kid was. He was a Kyuubi brat. Kabuto has been doing this for a long time, and has been gathering information for a long time, so he needs to know everything. And he has already given information to Orochimaru about this boy. Well, he wasn't anything special, he was on a team with the Uchiha, but Kabuto didn't see anything special so far. Other than going on a C rank mission that turned out to be an A rank mission, he wasn't so special. But that feeling he just felt, as Naruto looked at him up and down, as, right here, he could just end his life. Despite Kabuto being compared to Kakashi, Naruto knew that Kabuto was nowhere in Kakashi's level. And, right now the level that he's on, he could kill Kabuto. But there are too many eyes in this room, and not to mention he's posing as a Konoha ninja. And right now not having any evidence, and killing the Konoha ninja, that would be bad. As there wouldn't be anything found on Kabuto that he's linked to Orochimaru, as Naruto knew that the man covered his tracks very well. "Oh, and who might you be?" asked Kabuto. "Oh, hello there," said Naruto. "The name is Naruto Uzumaki. It's a pleasure to meet you," he said. As Naruto raised his hand, Kabuto raised his hand and grabbed it. As he shook his hand, there it was again, that feeling, like he was going to be killed. As he broke contact, "So what is going on?" Naruto asked. "Oh," said Sakura, "this guy has information on the people that are taking the exam, and he's helping us out by telling us." "Oh really?" "Yes. I just told him about Gara of the Sand." "Wait, if you have information on the people, do you have information on the villages?" Naruto asked. "Well yes," said Kabuto. It was then that Kiba spoke. "Hey, who are those guys? Which village are they from? The one in the note on their headband. That musical note. Oh, that is a heinous sound." "Oh, I know about that village," Naruto said. "You do?" said Kabuto. "Yeah, I heard rumors. It's an upcoming village, right?" "Indeed," said Kabuto. "But right now they're really weak," said Naruto. "So they can only manage to send one team to the Chunin exams. And why bother? It's not like their genins are gonna pass anyway. Given from the status of the village, they can't be that strong." It was then that three eyes snapped towards Naruto. 3 pair of eyes. Those two looked over, as he smirked under his bandages. "What do you say we show these Konoha ninjas how strong the sound really is. As the two of them nodded, it was then that the three sound ninjas started to tear through the room at incredible speed going towards Naruto and his squad. As Naruto's back was turned, as the three of them came after him, Dosu, Zaku and Kin. But all of them were met for a brutal surprise. When, instead of them attacking Naruto, Naruto lashed out fast, catching everyone off guard by speed. Kabuto was shocked. So fast, Kabuto said, as Naruto twists and smashed his foot right into Dosu's head. Dosu was sent sailing backwards as he slammed into the wall. Zaku was unprepared when he was grabbed around the waist violently. As he looked behind the scene, there was another of the kid. Sakura eyes narrowed. When they made a clone, she thought. As Sasuke was thinking the same thing. As the clone lifted up Zaku and threw him over his shoulder violently. It was then that the real Naruto stepped forward. Kin, being afraid of the situation seeing her two teammates got destroyed so easily. She was grabbed, but not in a way to harm her, as she was spun around. Before her back could touch the wall, a firm hand placed her on her back, as Naruto's hand slammed against the wall, catching her before she could hit the wall. As he looked down at her, Kin found herself looking up at him, just shocked. She couldn't even react fast enough to what he just did. "Oh, I'm sorry about that," Naruto said. "It seems like your two teammates just wanted to mess around a bit." But as he reached down and gently touched her chin, "I can't hurt something as beautiful as you," he said to her. Kin was taken aback. Living and growing up in the conditions that she did, it was rare that someone, well, there was a lot of drunks and old fools who tried to hit on her many times, even though she was like a great distance away from their age. But him, the way he spoke and the way he held her, it was just, she felt a shiver run down her spine. "Oh, it's okay," she said. As Dosu picked himself up, he didn't even react enough to block the kid's attack. But how was he so damn fast? As he thought he would get the drop on that blonde brat, but he twisted his body so fast that none of them could react in time. As Zaku picked himself up, rubbing his head, when did he treat that clone? As Dosu looked over at Zaku, they were not going to make this happen again. The both of them nodded as he charged forward. As Naruto's back was still turned, Kin saw her two teammates rushing towards her. Well, towards him. As she should say something, but she was on their team. She was a sound ninja. She couldn't betray them, but they were going to hurt him. But why did she care? Why? As he just kept on looking her straight in the eyes, like he was passing her eyes and looking into her soul. But it was at the last moment that terrible fluctuation of chakra ripped through the entire place, stopping everyone cold. Even the people who hadn't watching the altercation in the first place all snapped their eyes towards it. "If you try anything, I'll kill the both of you," said Naruto, as his body was just oozing with chakra. His natural chakra, because if he released the Kyuubi's chakra in here, most of them will probably piss themselves and shit their pants. As Kin was looking at him, she could see the fluctuation of chakra visible on his body. It was just roaming around smoothly. His hair was even flaring up in the air. As Naruto smiled at her, before a hand was placed on his shoulder, as Naruto turned to see Lee with a big smile on his face. "Naruto-kun," he said, "I can see that your flame of youth are boosting. You standing here showing off your power. I do hope that we get to fight each other in this exam, because I want to test your flame of youth and ignite them with my own." As Naruto smiled at Lee, Kin, who had still been there right under him, did not know what to say because she didn't know if she should move or something. But she was given a free pass as it was a big poof in the room. "Alright everyone, quiet down," as Ibiki stepped out, along with a few tunings. As Naruto looked back at Kin, "I guess we have to continue this some other time." Yeah," she said, as he started to walk away. As she wondered why the hell did she said yes. What the hell was she doing? As Naruto stopped as he looked at Dosu and Zaku. "You know, next time don't do something as dumb as attack a Konoha ninja inside of the village. I could probably kill the both of you right here and now. I wonder what will come out of it." Zaku clenched his fists. "You're really arrogant for a kid, you know that." Just because you just show off a minute ago, you actually think that you can beat the both of us? Any day, any time, said Naruto. As those who place a hand on Zaku's shoulder. Enough, Zaku. The exam is about to start. It was then that Ibiki looked over, as his face changed. It was an angry scowl now as he looked at Naruto. Sakura noticed that, Naruto? That guy seemed to be really pissed at you. What did you do? As Sasuke was looking over as well. As Naruto smiled. Oh, hey there, Scarface, he said. Are you still pissed about that, Naruto asked. Never again, said Ibiki. Even if she begs to invite you, never again. As he then smirked. And to get things straight, in here, I am the boss. You will listen to my rules. Any back talk, and I'll kick your ass out of here. Really? Naruto said. Just because I won, you're that pissed off to keep me out of the Chunin exams? I mean, I haven't even done anything wrong. Silence, brat, said Ibiki, as he glared at Naruto. Fine, I'll cooperate with you for now, but you should know, the other guys want me to play, so it's not all your talk. Then I won't play again, said Ibiki. Oh really now, said Naruto. Well, the game will sweet you too much, you'll have to play. Ibiki cursed at his lack of control of not being able to stop gambling. What is going on? Sakura asked. Oh well, you see, Scarface over there. Well, first a girl in this village. Wait. Why am I telling you anything? Naruto asked. Sorry, this is grown-up stuff, he said. What? We're the same age, said Sakura. Yeah, but the things I do are not the same things that you do, he said. As he started to walk off, leaving behind a fuming Sakura. As Ibiki was cursing in his mind, that kid came at their little poker night and cleaned every single person out. Ibiki personally, and he was always giving him back talk. Even though Ibiki was his superior, the kid just had a mouth on him, and Ibiki was so pissed. He bet all of his cash in one big high stake, but the kid bluffed him and won. As he cursed, that kid was never coming back to the poker game. Alright everyone, said Ibiki, get your assigned seats. As everyone was sent over to their seats. A big smile spread across Naruto's face, as he gently took a seat right beside Temari. That is where he was supposed to be seated. She did not look at him though as she turned her head. As the Chunin instructors started to pass out the papers, Temari then felt something tickle her leg. As she turned her head to see, it was Naruto as he was looking down, like he was paying close attention to her leg. What are you doing? She asked. Oh, nothing, Naruto said. You don't have to worry about it. You're touching my leg. Of course I have to worry about it. Now what the hell are you doing? As Naruto looked up at her. Oh, I was just admiring your flawless skin. She felt like she was about to blush, but she quickly turned it down. As she glared at him. Hey, what's wrong? He asked. Did I do something? She just looked at him with an angry glare. He was behaving so innocent, like he didn't know what he did. Yesterday he was all flirty with her and today he just ignored her, all out of a sudden, not paying her a single mind, and he expect her to talk to him back? Screw that. As Naruto then slowly dropped his hand, she turned at him with a glare. His hand was on her leg. Remove your hand, she said. Oh, come on. Don't be that angry, he said. I don't like to see that beautiful face of yours. Be in anger and pain. So, don't get angry at me, he said. Because when you're smiling, it's like my heart just keeps on fluttering over and over. Your smile can literally brighten the world, he said. And I can understand if you're a bit jealous. What? I'm not jealous, she said. As Naruto pouted. Oh, you aren't? Well, you see, I did it on purpose. I want to see if you would get jealous if I talk to other girls. Why would I care? It's not like we're anything to each other. Well, we're not. Well, we don't know what the future had in store for us. In the next year or two, we can literally be on a bed. As he got really close to her, making her flustered. With me giving you mind-blowing orgasm after orgasm, he said. As her face became incredibly red. Stop that, she said. Stop what? He asked. As she looked down and smacked his hand away, he was now rubbing her leg on purpose. We're not friends, okay? And you ignored me the entire time. So, and I don't really care if you ignore me because we're not friends. Well, I was doing it on purpose, said Naruto. Because I want to see if you actually acknowledge me or care. I mean, when a goddess like yourself acknowledge me, it's like my whole world just keeps on spinning. So yeah, that is why I did it, Naruto said, so I don't need to be angry. Can you ever forgive me, he asked. Temari looked at him. Why was she feeling this damn way? Soon enough they were going to be enemies, and she would probably have to fight him. But yet, she cursed herself. Fine. I forgive you, she said. It's over. As he took her hand and kissed it. That is what I love to hear, he said, making her turn her head as their papers were passed out. As Naruto was smiling to himself. Keep on doing things like this. You will have girls fighting over you very soon. And the fights are going to be bloody if you keep on talking in this way, said Kurama. Well, I'll always be there to sort it out, said Naruto. So, have you picked one of these girls to mate with, Kurama asked. What? Said Naruto. Well, don't you want to be with one of them? That is why you're talking in this way. Oh well, you see, mating. You mean like being together forever or something like that? Well, not really. But, you're still young. But you can't find a suitable mate for the future. What about your other time? Didn't you have a mate? Well, you told me you did have plenty, but not in the way that I was talking about. Yeah, there was plenty, but nothing like forever. Are you saddened by this? Grandma asked. Hell no, said Naruto. I mean, I had sex with at least hundreds of girls. So no. My life, despite being betrayed and killed, it was pretty damn awesome. So no, I wasn't upset with my life at all. And this time, everything's gonna change because things are going to work out this time. And also I'm gonna sleep with twice as much girls. That is one of my goals, he said. That is a rather odd goal, said Grandma. Well, for someone like me, it's pretty normal, said Naruto. As the papers are handed out. Alright everyone, listen up, said Ibiki. As he started to tell them the instructions. Naruto didn't really pay attention since he already knew what the real meaning of the test was. As the test started to go on, as he noticed one of the Chunins right in front of him, who was disguised with all the answers. Naruto simply smiled as he placed his hand under his desk. He went through one-handed hand sign. It began in his eyes as he felt a build-up of chakra. But it went away too fast. A burst of wind exploded all around the room, making everyone gasp for their papers trying to catch them. As the Chunin looked down to see, his paper was still there. But to his surprise, it was completely blank. As he looked around wondering what the hell just happened. Meanwhile, Naruto had the Chunin paper as he rubbed out their name, and writing his name. As he then leaned back. That should do it, he said. As the time went by, people were getting nervous and getting caught. And cheating, getting caught, and deducting points and all that. As Naruto wasn't really paying attention, Temari had finished a moment ago. As she sat back. That was tough, she said. She looked over at Naruto beside her, as she noticed that he hadn't really moved. She then glanced over at his paper, as she saw everything already done. She felt the buildup of chakra right near to her. She was thinking that it was him. But what reason? Why would he blow with the paper? Yeah, he didn't move one bit, she thought to herself. He must have switched someone's paper with his or something. Huh, clever, she said to herself. She then squealed a bit, making everyone look at her. What happened? Said Ibiki. Oh, sorry, nothing, she said. As she then glared at Naruto. Why did you pinch me? She whispered. Oh, it looked like you were dazing out, so I decided to just give you a little jump. By pinching me? She asked. No talking, Ibiki said, as she lowered her head. Finally, the test came to an end. Alright, Ibiki said. Now for the 10th question. Kiba sighed, finally. So what is it? Well, before I get to that, I have to tell you. If you fail this 10th question, you will never ever be able to take Chunin exams again. Everyone eyes widen at hearing that. And I mean never. You will remain a genin for the rest of your life. An eternal genin. Everyone was beyond shocked to hear that. A genin for the rest of your life? What the hell? But there is another option. You can give up right now. and leave with your team and take the training exams next year. That's bull, said one of the normal Jennings. Well, in here, I am God. And this is what I say, said Ibiki. Huh, Scarface God, said Naruto. What was that, said Ibiki. Oh, nothing, Naruto said. He then looked at Temari. You know this is a host, right? What? She said. He's just playing you. I don't want to see you do something as give up. Well, you're a strong kunoichi that is ready to face anything on, so I don't think that he will give up. Damn right, she said. As Naruto smiled, yeah, it's that attitude I like, that rough, dominant side of you, which I would like to very much dominate. What? She said to him. You heard me, he said. You always act bossy, I can see it. Back home, you always tell people what to do, am I wrong? She looked at him. Well, he was not wrong. She did had much talk, but why should she tell him anything? She didn't say anything. As Naruto placed a hand on her leg again. Stop that already, she said. Oh, come on. Don't be that angry, he said. I know most girls don't like it, but I can see it in you. Despite being a powerful kunoichi, sometimes you just want to be dominated. Hold down as I roll my hands all around your body and just be kissed all over. Wouldn't that be a wonderful sensation, he asked. Tamara couldn't help but blush. This was no ordinary boy. She could see that now. The things that he said and the way he said it, it seemed like he had many experience. But he was just a kid. So how could he? But the way he talked and the way he looked, like he was just looking straight into her soul with those eyes. Not even breaking eye contact, despite her looking back at him. As he simply smiled. You speak like you have experience, she said. You're just a kid, why is that? Well, you see, enough talking, Ibiki says. He glared at Naruto. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're still pissy about that. You know what, the next game we play, I'll let you win. The next game we play? You're not gonna be invited to another game, said Ibiki. Well, Anko and the others want me there. So how are you gonna kick me out? Because I was the one to come up with poker night, said Ibiki. As everyone was now looking at them. Well, we're not going to talk about this now. Alright, who wants to leave? Leave now, he said. It was then that few people started to raise their hand and leave with their team. As Naruto looked back at his team, Sasuke was chill. There was no way in hell that he was going to leave. Meanwhile, Sakura was doubting herself, as Naruto could see that she was shaking. As he held up his finger and focused wind chakra onto it, it was light as he flicked his wrist. As a small wind hit Sakura in the face, making her look up. As her eyes met with Naruto, as he mouthed the words, "Do not raise your hand." She looked at him and wondered how the hell did he know that she was planning to do that. She was scared. She didn't want to stay at Jenny forever. What if she failed the 10th question? Just trust me, he said. Sakura looked at him strangely. Since the past, months, they have been at each other's throats and not really seen each other as friends or comrades. Well, they are comrades, but the way he spoke to her, certain things that he said, it just seems like he didn't really care much for them. But now he was telling her to trust him. She looked back at Sasuke to see Sasuke looking at her with a stern gaze. As he wanted to go through with this, she couldn't let them down. She couldn't be the weakling again. She couldn't fall behind. She has to stay in this test, no matter what, as she sterned her features. As Naruto turned back, Temari looked at him, but she didn't say anything. Ibiki then frowned when no one else got up. Well, at least numbers are cut down. Alright, he said, for the remaining of you who stayed here, it's time I let you know. You pass. What? Most of them said. Told you, said Naruto as he looked at Temari. As Ibiki then went on to explain the real reason of this test, and Naruto did not really pay attention. He was just looking out of the window, waiting, as he saw the black banner coming. The black banner then smashed right through the window and landed, as it opened up revealing kanjis for the super sexy, awesome, amazing Anko. It was then that Anko flipped onto the stage. Hello everyone, she said, as she then turned and looked at Ibiki. Did I cut off your lecture? She said. Yeah, you did. What did I tell you about using the door? It's not fun that way, she said. Her eyes then quickly scanned the room. As they landed on Naruto, she quickly rushed over and lifted him up. As many of the guys there went in a fit of rage, seeing this hot, beautiful woman. Startled, well, she was literally choking him with her breasts. As his face was stuffed right in there, she held him and shook him, hugging him tight. It was then that Kiba couldn't take it anymore. His head started literally fume steam out of it, as he couldn't process this. To make it worse, this was a grown-ass woman, and he just couldn't anymore, as Akamaru started pouting, as he looked down at Kiba who was fuming. As Naruto just stood there, a smile on his face, his head bouncing up and down in Anko's chest. As Anko then released him. I knew you wouldn't be a weakling and give up that easily, she said. Because if you did, I would have let my snake tie you up and torture you. Oh really, Naruto said. And what kind of torture would that be? As she got closer to him. Oh, something gruesome, she said. And you're now standing right in front of me telling your plans. What if instead I decide to tie you up? You sleep at my place many times. What if one morning I wake up early before you and tie you up? And what exactly are you gonna do, Anko asks. Oh, something that would make you jail. Not proud of me, he said. Oh, and what exactly is that? Anko, Ibiki said. Oh, come on, Scarface. What's wrong? We're just having a little fun banter. It's time you tell him about the second part of the test, Anko. As Anko then laughed. You still pissed off at the kid for what he took from you? As Anko looked at him and then back at Naruto who was smiling. Come on. I didn't know that he was that good, said Anko. I just invited him for the kicks. He's never coming back, Ibiki said, making Naruto simply smile. Alright everyone, follow me. We're going to Training Ground 44, otherwise known as the Forest of Death. Before Naruto would say anything, Anko picked him up, bridal style. As she smiled. Pretty embarrassing, isn't it? Nah, not really, Naruto said, as he rested his head right on her chest. Even in the worst situations, you're still find a way to make something out of it. Well then, let's go. As she headed off with him, making everyone look around. I wonder if that's the friend Naruto has been talking about, said Sakura. What? Said Ino. Well yeah, he's been talking about someone lately that he spent most of his time with. I wonder if that's her. Ino looked onto herself. How could she compare with that woman? She had boom, boom. As she saw her chest, how could she ever compare? Moments later, the group arrived to see Naruto and Anko talking. As Temaro was looking at him, yet another one. This kid was definitely a player, but that woman, she was a jonin. Why would someone like her be interested in a kid? That was just wrong. And the way he played in her breasts, she could see that they know each other for a long while, and she was just okay with that. Well, she did let him touch her leg. Well, she didn't give him permission, but he did it anyways. She shook her head. Why was she thinking about him so much? He was a nobody, right? He was just someone that she met that likes to flirt. She should really get him off of her mind right now. She's gonna be entering this place that look rather scary. Well, as she looked over at Gaara and Kankuro, they will make it through. They have Gaara. She narrowed her eyes back over at Naruto. Despite acting that way, she could tell that he was strong. The speed that he showed today and the aura that he let off with just pure chakra that stopped those two sound ninjas right in their tracks. If it was a real battle, they would have probably been dead if he had turned around and sliced their heads off. So yeah, if anything, they would just have to watch out for him. As Gar also saw him as someone that he wanted to fight as well. So that makes it even worse, because Gar doesn't usually take interest in people that he don't see as a prey, someone that is strong for him to tear apart. Alright, Uncle, said everyone quiet down. I would like to welcome you to my home away from home. Training Ground 44, otherwise known as the Forest of Death. Naruto walked over back to his team. His eyes were everywhere, looking around, as he finally spotted them. The grass ninjas. As he looked at the one in the center, a girl. Well, that was no girl, wearing a hat on her head, and wearing brown and black. Orochimaru, he thought. He already have a plan how to deal with this. And get Sasuke out of there before anything bad happens. As uncles explain the rule of the force of death, Naruto, Sakura said, snapping him from his thoughts. What are you looking at? Did you get all of that? Yeah, I did. What did she say then? Well, about the heaven and earth scroll. Sakura was surprised because she really thought that he didn't get that. Alright then, fine. As she turned her head. As Naruto looked at Sasuke, you seem rather eager to kick these guys' ass, he said. Of course I do, Sasuke said. It's finally time that I show these people the true might of the Uchihas. As he activated his Sharingan with a smile on his face before deactivating it, making Naruto smile. Sorry in advance, Sasuke, he said. Sorry about what? Sasuke said. Oh, you will know soon enough. What are you talking about, dope? Sasuke asked. Never mind. Just let's go get the scroll. As Sasuke headed off to get the scroll, he returned back as he got a earth scroll, so they were supposed to get a heaven scroll. Alright everyone, line up at the gates. Good luck, kid, Uncle said, a smile on her face. As everyone started to line up at the gates. As Uncle raised her hand, as the gates started to open up. Ready? Go! As everyone shot inside, going to find their scrolls, or going to hide. A few minutes later, Uncle was outside, as she was hearing screams already. Seemed like this year is really entertaining, she said. It was then an envoy landed. What are you doing out here? Uncle asked. Did I miss it already? As Eugeo pulled off her mask. They already went inside. But don't worry, the kid will do fine. You don't have to worry about him, you know that? Well, I know, but the forest of death. And me and the kid spend enough time in there. What? Said Eugeo. I told you to do not take him in there. Well, he needed to fight some spiders. He need to do what? You mean you told him about the spiders to fight, right? Well, yeah. Don't be mad, okay? As Eugeo clenched her fists. She sighed. I know Naruto's growing up and all. But I just don't want anything to happen to him. Well, I know what you mean. But he is growing up. And into a fine man, said Uncle. I told you that's weird. He's still a kid. Don't think about him that way. Well, she can think about me any way she wants. As Naruto landed outside. Naruto? What are you doing here? Uncle said. You're supposed to be in the forest. I don't want to freak you guys out, but Orochimaru is in there. He's wearing a disguise as one of the grass ninjas. I'm sure that you guys can find their bodies around here. The two looked at him like he grew a second head. I mean, you can say something, said Naruto. As Yuichiro rushed over, we need to get them out of here. You guys can't disrupt the exam, said Naruto. Just get the Hokage and a few envoys. I'm sure you guys are fast enough to deal with Orochimaru before anything would escalate. But why would he be here? I think he's coming after Sasuke, said Naruto. Sasuke? But why? Uncle then narrowed her eyes. He wants to learn every jutsu. With Sasuke, the Sharingan. As Uncle eyes widened. That means you're gonna be in danger, kid. You're a clone, right? As the clone nodded. You need to tell the original to get the Sasuke brat and get back out here. But we still need to pass the exam. Don't be stubborn, said Eugeo. Orochimaru is an S-rank criminal, and he's very dangerous. You can't take him on yourself. I need you to listen to me, Naruto. No, said Naruto, I need you to listen to me. You guys will just have to deal with this situation by getting the envoys. I'll hold them off for as best as I can, while keeping Sasuke out of harm's way. Naruto, that's... I'll be fine, Naruto said. Enough of your crap, said Eugeo. I know you're strong, but you can't take on Orochimaru. It was then that 3 other Chonins landed. Uncle-san, one of them said. What? What is it? Said Uncle. We found 3 bodies. Eugeo started to sweat to hear that. As, knowing that Naruto's in there is an S-rank criminal that is coming after Sasuke that was on his team, she then turned back around, but Naruto was already gone. She clenched her fists. That stupid brat, she thought. As she then looked at Uncle. Uncle, I'm going in there, she said. As she ran and hopped over the fence. Uncle scowled. Alright, listen to me, you 3, she said. I need to go and tell the Hokage This is urgent. Orochimaru is in the forest of death. Run, said Anko. The three of them nodded and ran off, as Anko leaped over the gates. As Naruto was walking in the forest along with his team. Yes, that was good, he got the memory from the clone. With Sarutobi envoys coming in here, Sarutobi would not send a small amount knowing that it was Orochimaru who they were coming after. That would be enough time for Naruto to get Sasuke to safety. Well, he already has a plan for that. What now, dope? Sasuke asks. Asking for my advice. You finally realize how superior I am to you, don't you? You know it's nothing like that. You know this place more than me. It would be stupid of me to not ask you what is going on here. Well, the best route for us to take right now is to go to the tower and just cut off our team and get their scroll. Well, yeah, that would be much safer, said Sakura, other than walking in this scary forest. Come on, Sakura, it ain't that scary, said Naruto. What do you mean? I hear that there are man-eating plants and giant insects in here. Yeah, they are. And spiders. I mean, they're the worst kind. Even if you kill at least hundreds of them, they will just keep on coming. Those creepy crawlies crawling over your body to lay eggs in your brain. Stop it, Sakura said, making Naruto chuckle. Well, you see, Naruto couldn't get to finish that sentence as Sakura and Sasuke's eyes went wide. The entire ground exploded under Naruto as a large mouth swallowed him and slit it off. It was a giant snake. Sakura screamed as she just saw Naruto get completely devoured. Sasuke was at a shock. Before the snake could slither away far in the forest, a huge gust of wind tear through its body, ripping it to shreds. As Naruto came out with saliva and guts all over him, before the snake poofed away the remains. Clapping could be heard from a distance. I must say I'm surprised. But for you to use it at that degree, to kill my snake. Interesting. It appears that you're not the weak little Jennings I thought you are. So, you did good, Naruto. How about you, he said. Sasuke-kun. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. The grass ninja from earlier. He remembers seeing her. But how did she know his name? And Naruto's as well. And what Sasuke had to stop. Let's see if you can handle this. As a violent killing intent came out, Sasuke felt like he was about to puke 10 times over. As Sakura collapsed on her knees, breathing heavily, Orochimaru was stunned because Naruto was just standing there. Stepping forward, Naruto hit Sasuke in the back of the neck. As Sasuke's body collapsed over, as Naruto quickly pulled out a scroll. He then placed on the ground, surprising Orochimaru as he went through quick, precise hand signs as he slammed the hand on Sasuke's back. A seal appeared on Sasuke's back before the seal and scroll started to light up as Sasuke was pulled into the prisoner transportation scroll. Fuinjutsu at that level for a kid your age. I must say, twice you have surprised me. Naruto stepped forward as his entire body started to radiate with chakra. It was then that Sakura released a sigh of relief as Naruto's overwhelming chakra surrounded her, as she could no longer feel the killing intent, making Orochimaru's eyes widen. This kid. Kabuto has told him about him. Well, Konoha Jinchuriki was supposed to be a dead last of his class, one of the weakest. But this was far from a dead last and the weakest. What did you do to Sasuke-kun? Asked Sakura. In her hazy state, she could see that Naruto placed a seal on him and did something, but she didn't see. As Naruto gave her a scroll. Listen to me. Listen to me, he said. As she looked at him, this scroll has a timer. In a few hours, Sasuke is going to be released. And he's going to be fine. But I need to run. Run? And leave you here alone? Despite our quarrels, Naruto, that guy, that girl, whatever that monster is, I felt like I was going to die over and over by just her killing intent. I can't just leave you here. Sakura, Sasuke will die if you don't get out of here. What? That person there is after Sasuke. And the only way to get him to safety is for the both of you to get the hell out of here. It has a timer on it, so don't worry. He will be free in a couple of hours. And come on, don't you want the first thing for him to see is your face? To make him fall in love with you? As Sakura blushed at that, thinking about that, but she shook her head. It's not time for thoughts like that. I can't just leave you out here to die. Kakashi Sensei told us numerous times. Teamwork, teammate, as Naruto placed a hand on her shoulder. "I'll be fine. Just run," he said. "Because if you don't, Sasuke will die. Do you want his death on your hands?" I don't," she said. "Then run," he said, raising his voice. She then started to walk away. "Fine, but don't die," she said, as she jumped off, holding onto the scroll tight. Despite not liking him that much, he was still her teammate. And what would people say about her if he died and she just allowed it by running away? It was then that Naruto felt it. Orochimaru landed briskly beside him. As Orochimaru wondered if they really thought that he was going to let them get away with Sasuke and take him like that. Orochimaru was about to knock this kid out and then go for the girl and take that scroll. They just make it all the more easier for him. As he raised his hand, he wasn't really putting much hope. Just because the kid destroyed Snake, and Orochimaru was caught off guard when he felt demonic, devilish, malicious chakra as his hand was going down towards Naruto's neck. But at the last moment, Naruto twisted his body and raised his feet. Orochimaru was caught off guard by the speed as Naruto's feet smashed into his back. Orochimaru winced out in pain. As we take an x-ray view, several of his spine bones snapped as his body was sent sailing. He hit the ground with so much force that he broke into it, smashing into a deep crater. For the first time, Orochimaru was so shocked and caught off guard by a kid. This was unbelievable. "Thanks," Naruto said. "Don't mention it, kid. But this guy, he is tougher than everyone you have faced so far. Do you think you can handle him?" "Well, if I go Sage mode and with your chakra combined, I should be able to. But this Snake is a tricky bastard, and he has a lot of tricks up his sleeve." Like that, Naruto said as he had a disgusted look on his face as Orochimaru crawled through his mouth. Orochimaru picked up himself slowly. To think that a kid, making him shed his body. He looked up at Naruto with a shock on his face and confusion. The kid hit him so hard that it snapped his back. Did the kid know how to utilize his demonic chakra? That was the only explanation for him to kick him so hard. But Orochimaru simply smirked after that. Meanwhile, Sarutobi was alarmed to hear that news. Why? Why would Orochimaru be here? Why now? As this was troubling information. He knew about Orochimaru's revenge on Konoha, that the man wanted to see the village burn, and especially him. As he became resentful from that day, that he wasn't made the fourth Hokage. And then he started all those disgusting experiments. Innocent children. 30 children were taken. Mothers, fathers grieve. And now he's back to do God knows what. As he cursed himself for being so weak. If it wasn't because of him, Orochimaru would not be alive today. As he had the power back then to end him. But he didn't. He chose a peaceful route. And now, look where this has taken him. He could only hope that everything would be okay. And that everyone in there will be fine. Meanwhile, I must say I'm quite impressed to see you utilizing the beast inside you power like that. Are you acquainted with it? Asked Orochimaru. Now why would I tell you that? I know you have a thing for little kids. Do you think I want you to take me as well? Orochimaru narrowed his eyes. So aren't you gonna drop that disguise, Naruto asked. Orochimaru. Orochimaru was surprised by that. How did he know? I'm surprised once again. You're quite intelligent for someone who's been known as the dead last of the class. And fast as well and strong. Or perhaps it's just the Kyuubi power that you're utilizing. Perhaps you're nothing better than a normal genin. But we have to do this quickly. I can't let Sasuke get away, Orochimaru said as he reached up and ripped the face off, showing his real face underneath. It seems like you would know something that you shouldn't. For you to attack your own teammate like that. I'm curious, why? Naruto pulled both of his blades. Well, pedophile, he said, making Orochimaru glare at him. Well, the reason I sent Sasuke away is because I am afraid for his little bottom. Knowing someone as you, you're really tall and you're really big in stature. Sasuke's just a little kid. So for you to take him in your possession, I mean, he's gonna be crying all night with a sore bottom. What did you just say? Orochimaru asks, as he was getting a little bit pissed off by this kid. I mean, come on, everyone already know. You're a pedophile, right? Orochimaru smirked. It seems you have rather a low mouth there. I guess I'll have to show you what that gets you. Do you really think that you can take on a Sannin? You stand there with all your confidence, and you know who I am. Are you really that confident in your strength? Are you that stupid to think that you can win against someone like me? Well, said Naruto as he pulled both of his blades. Let's put that to the test, shall we? But guys, I'm going to end this episode right here. Remember to stay tuned for What If Naruto to Osusuke King. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Learned the Clone Secret in the Beginning over on Anime King 2. And I'm also going to be posting What If Naruto got his memory sealed away. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. But for now, I'm out. Peace.